Hey folks, Corey Brown here, coming to you with another sales tip. This one is regarding your first meeting with a customer where you're trying to figure out how you can help them or if you can help them. What I find, and some of the questions that we've been receiving, and what I see people just do wrong all the time, is how they transition and through that meeting into the next steps of what they need to do for the customer to actually roll through the sales process. Typically, a first meeting starts with whatever niceties of, who you are, where you're from, what activities you like to do, you're married, and all that stuff of trying to get to know the person maybe. Most people are fairly good about asking engaging questions about what their product or service does for their business, and they're typically asking questions, trying to pull out some pain points and help them understand, how their service can help them. I've been in the service business most of my career, specifically the HVAC service business. So many times people will be able to talk through some pain points and tell me some of the problems and issues that they've been struggling with. But at some point in time, you got to stop talking about the crap and transition into, all right, we can help you. Here's what the process looks like. And that's where I feel like many salespeople don't come with an agenda for their prospective customer. They are letting the customer kind of lead. Well, what do you think we should do next? Well, that's crap. You need to set the tone and you need to transition and help the prospect understand where they need to go from here so that you can deliver them price or proposal or whatever for the product or service that you're going to do. But there might be some steps to get down to, here's what our price is. Would you like to buy it, right? A lot of times, for instance, in the HVAC service world, we have to survey the facility and get some cost of operational data so that we can do proper financial analysis for them, right? So there's several steps in the sales process before we're even going to deliver a proposal to ask them to sign it. First of all, that transition meeting needs to look something like this. After they've thrown up all their problems on you, hopefully you've gotten out of them enough information where you feel like you can help them. If they haven't, if you feel like if you're sitting in a meeting and saying they're fine and they don't need you, well, maybe they don't need you, right? And they're fine. So maybe you need to can that one and go on to the next one to somebody who really does need your product or service. That's step one. Be willing to validate that it ain't a good deal, right? And move on to the next one. You're qualifying this customer just as much as they're qualifying you in a discovery meeting. So you're trying to assess, all right, can I help this person? When I've heard enough from the person, whether it's pain points or spending too much money or their contractor doesn't show up, whatever the case may be, I typically transition in something like this. Mr. Customer, what you're saying is common. From what you've told me, I know that we can help you. Here's the process that we need to go through for me to properly help you. Okay, so what did I just do there? I took control of what we're doing next. I told him, look, if I'm going to help you, here's the steps that we got to take, okay? If you do not own that, then he's going to own you. The whole sales process is what you don't want. You do need to guide this thing through because you're the professional. You're the guy that knows how to get from point A to point Z in your sales process so that you deliver the right product or service to this customer. So once you transition to, Mr. Customer, it sounds like we can help you. Here is what we need to do so that I can properly assist you. And then list out the things that you got to have. In my particular process, I list out the 2 next steps that I got to have the customer's commitment on before I'm going to commit to move through the process. For instance, in my particular process, I have to have 2 meetings set, right? One's to survey the facility and one's to talk about the findings from the financial analysis and some of the things that we go through to try to justify the cost of our service. First of all, I map out for him, here's what we got to do. I need a couple things from you, a little bit of homework and operational expenses that he's got to get from me. And then I outline that I need to get on his facility and do a survey, and maybe you have a similar service where you have to do some assessment of their building or bills or whatever, right, that you got to step into, because you got to do some data collection before you can really move through the process and know if you can help them or not, right? It's all pie in the sky, that first meeting, and it's a great opportunity, possibly, right, if things work out. But a lot of times once you get behind the scenes, that's when you really tell whether you have a great opportunity or not. The steps are transition to, hey, here's how we need to do this, right? Then outline the steps of the process. And then get commitment from them. Hey, does that sound like a plan? That's as much commitment as I need. If I have a commitment from them of going through this, right, so that we can get to the goals of reducing their cost, improving their operations, whatever the goals that you just talked about and all the pain points that he just threw up on you in this first meeting, you're willing to go through all the junk that you have to be able to meet his need, right, so that you can actually gain a quality customer. Once you got commitment, set the blasted dates. Pull out your phone. Make sure that both of you have it on your calendars before you leave. That is huge, because if you leave that meeting without the next steps outlined on a calendar, if you hadn't already sent a meeting request right there in the room, you're going to be chasing this person for the next several weeks or months trying to get this thing nailed down. Set the dates so that you can move forward through the process so that everybody's committed to it. Plenty of times you will get pushback on, well, just show up next time and then we'll see where it goes from there. That's bullcrap. If you're getting that pushback, you don't have trust yet and you need to back up. That really typically ushers a response from me of, you know, Mr. Customer, what I typically find, if people aren't willing to go through this process with me, I've failed to communicate value or I've failed to build trust somewhere. Go ahead and tackle it right there. If the cat's not going to buy from you, know it right now. If we can handle all these problems for you, if we can make things better for you, if we can meet the objectives that you're looking for, what's keeping you from moving forward in this process? If you don't get solid answers to those questions, get the heck out of the room, right? If he's just going to waste your time, find somebody who's willing to invest with you. You do not need to burn your time and days and weeks and hours and life chasing people who aren't committed to you. It's your job to get the commitment, okay? People will let you do all the assessment and analysis and data collection all your life. You can burn your life out doing analysis and never close a sale. That's what I see a lot of people do, is they get so frustrated 6 months into the deal, they've only sold, $10,000 worth of crap, and they're wondering what's wrong. They're not owning the sales process. They're not standing up for themselves and telling the customer what they need to do to be able to help them. So when you're stepping into a new prospect, you're meeting somebody for the first time, you need to own the process and show them the path to walk down so that you can help them the most. So once you have it set in your calendars, then you're rolling. Then it's shake hands and I'll see you next time. But at least you've assessed the problem, right? You've transitioned and owned the next steps. You've outlined what you need from the customer and gotten commitment from them. And then you've set the dates on your calendar so that you don't forget it or it doesn't drift, because time kills deals, right? So you can't just let this thing drift and just try to chase somebody your whole life. I hope that's helpful in how to take your first meetings from mediocre to awesome and really feel like you're in control of the process instead of wondering, where are we going? Because I feel like a lot of people communicate that. They just don't understand and own the process so that they can really feel comfortable about where they're going. So hope that helps. If you need any more help regarding this, feel free to reach out to me at CoreyBrownSales.com. All my information is there. Feel free to reach out to me for a free consultation as well. I'm happy to come to your office and show you how to do this sales thing a little better. Have a great day.